With all the things that are going on in AI and all the applications, and frankly, all the crappy stuff that's out there from a use case and utilization perspective, somebody was asking me earlier today, so how are you using these tools? And I thought I would take just a second to share what I think is probably one of the most compelling and frankly time-saving tools that I have found in just like ever. And I've used a lot of the tools and don't want to use them in a lazy or inefficient way. I want to use them in a force multiplying manner, and that's what I've been doing. So let me do a quick demo because somebody asked me, and I said, "Hey, I'll share you and send you a link." So I thought I'd back post it here in case anyone else might be receive value out of this. All right, so here is my go-to tool. This is the one that I have just found and now absolutely run with every single day. It's a company called create.io, number 8.io. And I'll throw a link in here. Like, I'm in full transparency, I'm not getting anything out of this. I don't have any affiliation with them other than not know the people. And I really love the tool. And it came out of Vanderbilt University. And so like, there's just so much rigor behind how it's being developed. Couple of game changers here that I think are just valuable beyond belief. Number one, building assistants. And so I have built very curated, highly specific, deeply nuanced assistants that are addressing some of my core workflows or needs. And like from a use case perspective, like no big deal, everybody's doing that. But here's what's so cool about this. I can take one of the assistants that I've built, and you can see how much rigor goes into all this stuff. Like this is all stuff that I've built out, and I can add, all kinds of context and brand voice and all these things to it. But I can take an assistant that I built and do some really neat things. So I put in a really basic prompt here, and I'm going to attach a transcript of a podcast I recently recorded. And so I'm put in this very basic prompt, put in the full transcript from the podcast episode, killer episode, by the way. It's just unbelievable. And they have this handy dandy little prompt optimizer. Oh, and by the way, forgot to mention, I get to choose the model I want. I'm going to make this one cloud. All right, because it's better at writing, at least in my experience. I'm going to make this a medium depth, medium thinking model here. So I can go low, I could go medium high. It uses different degrees of tokens. Oh, and really cool, I can have this all be on my browser or in the cloud. Oh, and I get to go say, hey, I want to make this more creative, and I'm going to make it shorter and more concise. I don't want to have really long answers for this one. So I go in here and then I take this really basic prompt, like take this podcast transcript and build a single high conversion email to send to my marketing list using my core tone and style guide for the Arqus Group. I hit this handy dandy little prompt optimizer and the magic happens. So it ran for a few seconds and look what it turned back into. It said, now my little simple prompt says act as an expert email copywriter, especially in high conversion marketing campaigns with extensive experience, yada, yada, yada. Oh, and by the way, it goes on and on and on and on. And so now I get to hit go. All right, I'm going to hit run. This is not one that I've even finished with. I spend a lot of time using tools to make sure I get really good, concise inputs on the front end, so I get better outputs on the back end. But what I've found with this tool set is I'm getting first pass fidelity at a demonstrably, almost a exponential rate better without the hallucinations, without the randomness that I tend to get with Claude or ChatGPT. Great tools, but one of the key things here is now if I want to do something and I go, oh, actually this model would be better utilized for ChatGPT or Claude, I can do it in the same thread. I never have to shift. And oh, by the way, I can change assistants within the same thread. So right now I'm using a marketing copywriter assistant that I built, but maybe I want to just, hey, turn it into my email assistant. I can then say, I'm going to switch assistants and now draft an email to 10 personal friends that allow me to get this same content out with different tone, with different style, with different training. It's super cool. It's it doesn't give me the raw speed of a chat GPT, but man, the quality on the other side is just so powerful. And you look at this, it's building out based on the quality of the assistant I built. Now, I spent a lot of time really tuning that in, and it's giving me, here's why it works. Here's what we're trying to do. Here's my brand alignment checked. Here's my A/B testing framework. I, again, have programmed that into my assistant. My CTA positioning, my optimal click rate tracking. Again, it's just so powerful for first pass. We're not talking about, something that I've gone back and forth with 25 times. We're talking about once. I built it once and, have really used it forever. And then I can just very quickly do something simple. And let me show you. Hey, I now want to go and say, I want to take this assistant off. And let me go to another assistant. Let me go here to one of my email assistant and tell it something else to do. In this case, I'm not going to go through the whole prompt optimizer because it's a pretty simple thing. But I said, hey, I'm using my email assistant and saying, now type a short email sending the same episode to personal friends of Dusty via his email list. And I won't make you sit through all this bill, but you can see it does, hey, recipient, personal friends, establish warm connection who know me. Again, I put a lot of intentionality into the assistants I built, but I have that flexibility here, and then I get to change them. And you'll see that it wrote a really nice email that I'm going to still tweak. I'm going to tune and adjust, but it took the marketing, put it into a different assistant. And I could go and say, hey, make it shorter, make it longer. I could go change this to Chat GPT 5 or whatever it is. And we're just touching on writing. We're not even talking about some of the data analysis stuff that I've done. So I did a demo with this for some friends earlier in a mastermind group that I belong to. And it was really powerful just to think about how we use these tools. And then we get out of having 9 or 10 or 12 different tools in multiple windows that we're copying and pasting. It's like, I've actually found one that does it all in one. Is it perfect? No tool is, but that's what makes it so compelling, is it's solving my biggest problem, which is, how do I get everything in one place? How do I train really good assistants? And how do I get better first pass fidelity with the work I'm doing so that it is true to what I want to build and create, not true to some of the crappy AI stuff. So making it available to you guys. If it's something that interests you, send me a DM. I'm happy to give you an introduction to the team over at Create. But it is so cool to think about how we use assistants and how we use our tools as force multipliers, not just as, hey, this is a cool hot thing and it's going to be, emoji laden and all that stuff. By the way, you see it didn't use a single emoji. It's because I don't like them. I think they're inauthentic. I think they look like crap. They're not part of who my brand is and what I believe in. So my agent, no emojis. Awesome. Passing along. Hope this creates value. If you want an introduction, let me know.